Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Robbins, and you are listening to another episode of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in uno, dos, tres, deux, trois galaxies. But ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Look at me staring at you right now, okay? We are doing, we love doing videos. We about to cut this video stuff out, but I'm just kidding. We're gonna start doing more videos, so stay tuned. But ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to you live today. Today is May the 20. Today is Today is May the 29th, 2025. Tomorrow will be my mother's birthday. Happy early birthday. She'll be 71 years old. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen. One thing I gotta do, I gotta start doing better with them gifts, ladies and gents. That's neither here nor there right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to be talking to you. We are coming to you live today. Today we are going to talk about the marketing of the pseudo-intellectual, okay? Thought leaders, thought-provoking. Are they thought-provoking or do they start whoring themselves out for money? What do you think? Ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce that I've gotten busted again. My cousin, he's more brother than cousin to me. He called me up and he said, we got to talking and he said, "Oh yeah, he said, "Oh yeah, I know I called you yesterday." He said, Man, you creating content?" I was like, "Who?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I do create content. It's finally drilled into me, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what you do, it is called content creation, okay? Whether you do a podcast, whether you have a YouTube channel, whether you upload on TikTok, you are creating content. And that's what we are doing. It is drilled into my head, people, okay? I am creating content. And so, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Tony D. Rizzano. I'm going to give you my God-given name. Tony Dwayne Rizzano is a content creator. Thank you. And ladies and gents, we are on TikTok. You can go to Tony Rizzano and you can find me on TikTok. You can go, after today, you will be able to go to Facebook and you will find me. It will be Tony Rizzano. We're going to create one of them pages. It's going to be Tony Rizzano, the Facebook page. And so, ladies and gents, Instagram, we're going to go and we're going to type in, we're going to make one of them branded accounts and it's going to be Tony Rizzano. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me there. You can go on Twitter, Tony Rizzano, and you can find me there. Okay? We are going to be everywhere, all on the social medias. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important place you can find me is in the email list. Sign up for the email list. We will leave the link below. You can sign up for the YouTube. That's great. But please, ladies and gentlemen, before you do any of that jazz, okay, the most important thing, sign up for the email list. I'll say it again, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing. Forget TikTok is cool, YouTube, Spotify, however you find me, wherever you find me, don't forget, sign up for the email list. Okay? Boom. There you go. And so, ladies and gents, let's get into the marketing of the pseudo intellectual. And ladies and gents, I remember one time I watched this movie, and this is how people. This is the best way you can market yourself, ladies and gents. I'm telling you, okay. And you set yourself up, you put yourself in a position, and it doesn't matter what people think of you, and you always get some paydays, some paydays. It works for these people. I remember I watched this movie Shallow Hal one time. Shallow Hal was this silly movie with Jack Black, Gwyneth Paltrow, and who did they have in the movie? Tony Robbins. I didn't know Tony Robbins from a can of paint at that point, but he was in the movie and he was like, Hal, you think like this and yeah, because Hal was a shallow fella and he only dated women based on their looks. He only liked hotties. Jack Black only liking hot women, which is Jack Black is not the most handsome man I ever seen, but okay. But anyway, Tony Robbins talked to him and put him on some type of spell or something like that. And I just thought, who was Tony Robbins? Tony Robbins that cemented him as a guru in the mindset field and the self-help field, and because he was in a movie, and more people probably ran to Tony Robbins like, "Hey, Tony Robbins, I need to talk to you." And so, I was watching, I was uploading now because when I upload the YouTube, it waits and then it has suggestions for me while I'm uploading stuff. And I saw this thing of Jordan Peterson. He had the 20 versus 1, which shout out to the young lady who started the 20 versus 1 with the balloon thing. They have, my friend was telling me they have many other, I thought they was all connected, but he said they're not. So, but she has a show on YouTube, on Netflix now, which is cool. I think her name starts with an A. I can't pronounce it, but I see the clips. I don't really watch the show, but I see the clips. But hey, shout out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I got to get into relationship content. Relationship content when half the people in the world are getting divorced and half the people don't want to get married is crazy work. Okay, people talking about relationships when they don't want to be in relationships is crazy work. It's maddening. It's mind boggling. It's like a layup. If you just say there's two ways you can go, especially as a black man in America, there's two ways you can go with the relationship content. Ladies and gentlemen, just allow me to spit. Allow me to spit today to you, okay? Two ways you can go with this relationship content. You can say, man, these women are cooked. These women are greedy, blah, 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 blah. You can Andrew Tatum. You can red pill them to death, or you can Derek Jackson and lie your way and cheat. You can lie to women and you can sleep with multiple women and say, yeah, women, if a man ain't treating you like this, or if a man not doing this, then you don't need to be with that man. And the whole time you in their DMs like, come on, baby, I can treat you better than that. Come on, baby, I can treat you better than that. I'm a better man than that. Aren't you married, Derek Jackson? Yeah, that don't mean shit to me. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I digress. Okay, but but yeah, I saw the Jordan Peterson 20 versus 1. 20 versus 1. It was Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists. So naturally, in my pea brain, maybe I'm a dummy. But I thought, okay, Jordan Peterson is a Christian. But then they asked Jordan Peterson, was he a Christian? And Jordan Peterson said no. And so it's like, so we got 21 atheists versus 0 Christians. Okay, that's what we doing. And I thought, man, Jordan Peterson, I thought he was a pretty smart guy. Why is he doing this with these? Listen, I ain't finna argue with no atheists about nothing. Okay, I ain't finna argue about no. One thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna argue about my beliefs in God. Okay, that's nah. We good on that. Okay, we are good on that. Cause I don't have time. I'm not going. One thing that's annoying is when people try to argue with you about stuff that it's like, come on, man. In religion, you're not gonna really move. You're not gonna move. Jordan Peterson argued with these young people about atheism, and he not even saying he a Christian. It's like, come on, bro, what are we doing? But Jordan Peterson, he wrote a book. He wrote a great book. He gives good little speeches. Talks about all this kind of stuff. And he has positioned himself as an intellectual, and he is getting paid. And now apparently he just does anything for some cash. And so I'm just like, it's wild business. The intellectual, and it's so easy. It's great if you could position yourself that way, and people will come cut you a check to speak and all that. And man, if you could. And I thought about him when I was watching. I thought about him, and I thought about Umar Johnson, and I thought about the lady who is positioning herself like she's a relationship expert, and she's not married. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and Dr. Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar, he loves to go around saying he's a he don't he's a doctor and he's gonna build this school, which he ain't built the school. This is the longest running church. This is the longest running church building fund I ever seen. And no church has been built. No building has been built. No nothing. And Umar Johnson, the Pan-African Prince. The Pan-African Prince. Pap over here. He's just going around. He does talks, and he goes on the Breakfast Club, which the Breakfast Club should be ashamed of themselves. They promote this shenanigans, and that's what I mean. When you position yourself and you can get on the Breakfast Club, or Jordan Peterson, he was on Joe Rogan, and you get on big platforms. People are like, yeah, I believe them guys. Yeah, them guys. Yeah, they're geniuses. But people like you and me, when we just talk normal and give people, sound advice, nah, that's for them, that's bullshit. They don't want to listen, they don't want to hear that. But Jordan Peterson says, hey, go jump in the cold plunge. Go take a deep plunge into the North Arctic Sea. Why should I do that, Jordan Peterson? Because it emulates your brain cells. Oh, okay, Jordan Peterson. I'm gonna go jump into the North Arctic Ocean right now, just because you said it fixes your brain cells. And Dr. Umar Johnson said, yo, y'all need to take y'all money, take your wealth, black people, take your wealth, and then instead of living in the cab, y'all need to all move to Gwinnett. They be like, okay, Dr. Umar said we need to move to Gwinnett. And Dr. Umar said if we move to Gwinnett, and then we could gentrify the neighborhood as well, like they do our neighborhoods, And why are you doing this? Because Dr. Umar say it's like when I used to look at you would see different health stuff online, and a lot of you might not know, but it used to always be this thing I say, and these people would say, Dr. CB say, you gotta take seed, don't eat no seedless fruit. Dr. CB say this, Dr. CB say that. And I'm like, Dr. CB. And Dr. CB claimed he cured AIDS, and then some people say they killed Dr. CB because he cured AIDS. Because as we all know, which is now this part is true. And see, this is the thing about these intellectuals. You take something, you take a little bit of the truth, and you mix it up in a bunch of BS. Because yes, there is more money to be made by the drug companies in the let's say you get cancer and they charge you $200,000 for your cancer. There's more money in that than it is to find the actual cure for prostate, for the breast cancer. Because then, hey, we won't have any patients. We won't be able to charge. I understand that, but to say that they killed this guy because he cured AIDS is a bridge too far. Okay. One thing I love about the black community, whenever a black celebrity gets in trouble, you know why they got P. Diddy, you know why they got Bill Cosby, you know why they got this one and that one. Why? Because they wanted to buy NBC. This is why they got Bill Cosby. Because Bill Cosby, forget drugging women and trying to sleep with them. They got Bill Cosby because Dr. William Cosby wanted to buy NBC. And that's why they got the Dr. CB, because man, you can't have Dr. CB, them AIDS, no. That's a bridge too far. We gotta get you. But the pseudo intellectual, the marketing of the intellectual, the marketing of the deep thought person, it's crazy to see people like the Jordan Petersons of the world and the Dr. Umars, and I saw some kid. I guess he's like a racist. I don't know if he's racist, but I guess he's for like white people, which is it's all weird. But I guess he's like on Twitter, and he's like, yeah, see, black people love to kill other black people. Black people killing themselves. It's not white people, white power, or whatever he got going on. And I'm just like, oh no. And then people gonna prop him up, and then you'll see. Payday comes, man. All these people, it doesn't matter. Black, white, Chinese, Asian, Australian. It does not matter. You put some money. You put money in front of 90% of the people in the world's faces, and they'll sell their souls. Okay, I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. Very little people will have. I mean, I'll go into it. My friend, he was going to this event. He was going to this book reading. This author had a book that he was promoting, and it's about gentrification. Okay, and it's about how Atlanta has become gentrified. This guy, he was talking. Though he was an intellectual, and he was talking, and he was putting out, like, he was giving out, I don't know, his facts. We'll say his facts, and he started off. He was like, "I'm blaming Andrew Young," and I was like, "Whoa." He doing a little different than the Umar Johnson, because he was going after, you know, black people, and he was like, basically, he was like, they sold us out, and I was like, that's crazy. But then it's like, is it crazy? Because a lot of people that get into political power, we all know they all start off great, they all start off wonderful. You put some money in front of their nose, and man, it's hard for them to hang on. It's hard for them to say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna I'm going to I'm gonna stay on the straight and narrow." It's hard for them people to do that. So a lot of people do not do that. Okay, a lot of people go to the left. So, ladies and gents, I say all that to say, you have to be, you know, if you can position yourself as an intellectual, or if you can position yourself to where people want to hear you on podcasts and you want to get paid, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it's great. But be mindful. Be mindful of selling your soul. Do you want to sell your soul for some dough? I don't know. I'm not quite there yet. Okay. It's tough. I understand it, because you create. I understand. Listen, this creating content is a job. Okay, this is not for the weak. I get it. I've increased my content creation. I've increased my videos. I'm doing videos. I'm talking. I'm doing more writing. I'm doing more, and I understand. Look, it's exhausting, and sometimes you feel like, who am I talking to? Where is this going? What is it going to lead to? And sometimes you want the payday. I get it. I get it. I get it. But do not completely get lost in the sauce. Okay, there are too many. I know. Listen, I remember I used to see videos of Grant Cardone. He wanted people to get into real estate, this, that, and the other. And at some point, I'm sure he means well still, but at some point, he went to the left. Uncle G went to the left. He started off with the whole real estate. I'm going to fight, and real estate this and real estate that. And along the way, he done got lost in the sauce, and it's a shame when you see people who are supposed to be intellectuals, it happens to them too. So, I mean, ladies and gents, Solomon was the wisest man. Solomon was the wisest man in the Bible, and eventually he got lost. He got lost in the sauce. So, what could I say? You just got to be careful. And I know, I know that these people, the more it's sometimes it's just the marketing is good. Okay, sometimes it's just the marketing is good. The more money you make, the more you can market yourself. It's just the way it is. And so be careful about who you listen to. Be careful about who you see as a thought leader, and don't ever think anybody's a thought leader of the community that you live in. Okay, because you live in this community. You need to be a leader in your community. Don't wait for the Umars. Don't wait for the Jordan Petersons. Don't wait for the Joe Rogans. Don't wait for anybody to tell you how to live your life. Okay, and so I hope this episode helps. I guess I want people to think for themselves. You can listen to me, And that's great. And I hope you do. And I hope a billion people listen to this show. And I hope a billion people follow this show. But at the end of the day, you know, I I'm only one person. I ain't perfect. I know that. You know that. Far from that. Okay. But I just want more people to I want more people to think for themselves. Because it seems like less and less it seems like we do less and less thinking for ourselves. And we do more and more follow the leader. It's more being a parrot, being a puppet, being a sheep, as they say. And even when it comes to creating content, hey, what's the easiest content I can create? Oh, let me make a video about going viral, and that'll work. But at the end of the day, your most important goal is putting money in the bank. Okay, but you want to. It's a catch-22. You want to put money in the bank, but you want the money to sustain. And if you're a flyby, you could be like a one-hit Instagram, a viral sensation, like the what's my man? What was that guy? They rapists out in Lincoln Park. They climbing in your windows. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. You know, you remember I saw him on the BET Awards. He had his hair all permed out, and he was doing his little song, and then he just disappeared. You want to set up things. You want to set up things to where you want to set up things not to give you a speech or nothing like that. But of course, you want to set up things to where the money can become flowing in every month. And I know that this is a slow. I know, and you know that. Well, especially this show of mine. This is a slow build to the money. Okay, we are building a dam. We are building a river. Okay, we are irrigating a river. That we are going to make sure that the money flows. It's taking some time, but now that all my friends and family have discovered that I am a content creator, we are going to make more and more and more videos. Okay, but honestly, the marketing of the pseudo intellectual, it's crazy out here, ladies and gentlemen. They just make people out to be intellectuals, and it's like, are they? Questionable. It's just like, we made. I saw it was the 5th anniversary of when they killed George Floyd, and they have made got statues and all this and all that, you know. Who do we put up? Who do we make out? Who do we put on pedestals? You got to be careful about that, ladies and gents. Yeah. Man, I get it. I get it. I get it. You do not want to die at the hands of the police, but you know, to burn your city down to burn your city down. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that was the way to go. But and that's another thing. Speaking of pseudo intellectuals, look at the BLM movement. They all came off as hey, we're trying to do this for the community. We're trying to do this for the community, and it was just three women, three thieves getting money. Then they buy houses. Speaking of gentrification, they buy all these houses in gated communities out in Los Angeles. Sounds about right, don't it? And so this is why you have to be careful about the pseudo intellectual, the marketing of the pseudo intellectual. Whether they come from, what are they doing, what's the plan, what's the plot? Is it about money? Is it about trying to make money? Is it about trying to help you? And so be careful who you follow and watch out for the pseudo intellectual, because at the end of the day, we all have brains. God has all given us brains. Is anybody smarter than anybody? There are some people who are geniuses. Oh, this is going longer than what I thought. Kanye West a genius? No, Kanye West is an idiot. Okay, good at music? Maybe. A genius? No. And then people love to tell you, Kanye, he's a genius. He's a marketer. Kanye West had a good thing going. He made some good music, and his time was up. He ran out of things to say, and just holding on to be holding on. You know, you see the slow decline of young Kanye West. Okay, the man has got to be older than me. Man, got to be like 50 or whatever, almost 50, and just going around talking crazy. And Balenciaga owe the money, and he's a designer and a creator, and blah blah blah. And people, he was in the stadium in Atlanta. People like he a genius. Is he? No. Kanye West is the marketing. The marketing of Kanye West being a genius is ridiculous. Okay, and that's what I'm talking about, and that sums up the whole episode. The quote unquote intellectual, are they? Mm, mm, mm. No. Kanye West, Jordan Peterson, Umar Johnson, put them all in the bag, throw them all out the window. They're all in on their feet. They'll survive. But should you let them lead your community? Should you let them lead you? No. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow with the all-new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Robbins. Thank you for listening. God bless each and every one of you intellectual geniuses. And as always, everybody, peace.